Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Debt Free Me. My name is Yana, and in today's video I am going to be reviewing my spending for the week of December 14th to December 20th. On the 14th for breakfast, I went to McDonald's and I spent $24.89. For lunch, me and my daughter got Thai food and I spent $34.29 on that. And my husband wanted tacos, so I spent $26.88 for that. And those all came from my takeout category. I also went to Fresh Mark to get some drinks and snacks. This came from my food category for $22.87. On the 15th, I went to Wegmans to get some more food for dinner, and so that came from my food account, and that came up to $42.67. I also did get a gym membership for $79. However, this came from separate funds like savings, but not from my high yield savings account. Let me explain. When I first started YouTube, I was thinking that I would incorporate some saving challenge videos. So I put $300 aside from my September paycheck for this. However, I never followed through and did any saving challenge videos. So I ended up taking the $79 from that money, and that's why this category is blank here, because this is not on any of my category expenses. On the 16th, I went to Walmart to get some medicine. My daughter was sick. This came out of the medical account fund, and I spent $19.98. For dinner, we had pizza, so that came from the takeout fund, and that equaled $26.49. I also had a subscription that I forgot to cancel. This this was not planned, so I ended up taking this from my birthday account, and that subscription was $10.86. I went to Food Lion to grab some food for the house, and that came out of my food category, and I spent $78.67. On the 17th, I went to fill up my car. That came from my car gas fund for a total of $36.71. On the 18th, I had a no spend day. Yay me. I think that is my fourth no spend day for my December's paycheck. On the 19th, I also went to Food Lion and I grabbed some snacks for $4.97, and that came from the food category. My daughter also got her hair done. That came from our hair fund, and that totaled $75. For my massage, I took that money, of course, out of my massage account for $100. However, what I did not know was that membership prices was increasing, and it increased by $5. As you can see here, I have this as a massage, but I took it from my birthday fund because I only had put aside $100. I also had an activity that I went to. I was not planning on paying for it or spending money for it, but it just turned out that way, so that I did have to. And so that activity came up to $80. And this was again an unplanned spending. And so I don't have any category here that I can take this money from. So I might just go ahead and let the rollover from last month, that $101, cover this spending right here. I also went to Wegmans to get some more food for the house. This came from my food fund, and that totaled $102.61. On the 20th, I went and got my hair done, so that came from my hair fund, and my hair cost $90. I also went and finished up my Christmas shopping. So I went to TJ Maxx and grabbed some items for $64.40. I also brought my husband gift, which was $200. And I also went to Dollar Tree to grab some items, and I spent $90.89. All three of these purchases came from my Christmas fund. In total, this week I spent $1,216.18. Now we are at the expenses remaining check-in portion of my spreadsheet, and this is where I review how much money I have left to spend in each of my expenses categories. So for my food category, I have $92.32 left to spend. However, I did have issues very early on in which I was not diligently tracking my spending, and so now I have a discrepancy of what my tracker says and what is actually in my food account. I have $123.13 in my food account. However, my tracker is saying that I should have $92.32 left. I could not find a discrepancy. I know that I must have purchased something more than what I took out of that food account, but I can't find where that discrepancy is. So I'm just going to leave that $123 right where it's at. From my hair account, I have $77.84 left to spend. My daughter's account was exhausted the previous week and it has 89 cents left to spend. My car gas fund, I have $25.72 left to spend. For my massage, I have no monies left to spend, and I technically overspent in this account with the $5 increase for my membership. In my household account, I didn't spend any money, but I have $2.02 left to spend. From my medical account, I have $20.68 left to spend. From my takeout account, I have negative $20.33 left to spend, so I overspent here. In my birthday account, I have $4.48 left to spend. My Christmas category, I have negative $17.04 left to spend, so I clearly overspent in this category as well. In miscellaneous account, have 1 cent left. As you can see, I was not being diligent in tracking my daily spending, and I wasn't being intentional about my spending. I have several overspent categories, which when I close out my December spending plan, I will let you all know how I plan to cover these overspending categories. I'm going to take it as a learning lesson and do better next month. And next month is a new year, so I'm going to try to be more diligent and better for all of next year. That's all I have for today's video. I thank you all for watching, and I appreciate all the support and comments that I've been receiving. I always try to respond to each and every one of them. I hope you all have a great and safe holiday, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.